Hello, hello. Let's get that sound check done real quick. I got a new studio set up. So last time I did a new studio setup, the following video was a nightmare. I don't think this one's going to be though, because I spent quite a bit of time putting this together. I removed all those screens. You guys know I've had the side screens. I'm always moving material around, especially in my presentations when I'm dropping data sets. It's too much cable management. It's too much problems. And you guys hear that little notification every once in a while when a cable's loose. I got rid of that whole setup. Thank you, dear old dad. It was good for about 8 months, but it caused too many problems. Now I have a 5-foot screen, something called a G9. I forgot the name of this thing. I really did. But it's 5-foot wide screen. It wraps around, and now I can have 3 screens, 5 screens, 6 screens, 10 screens if I want, and it works just fine. And so far, I'm not having any issues. But I've got Conspiracy Music Guru backstage right now. We've been chatting. Very unique guy. Very unique guy. When you're done with this video, you might want to go check out his channel. The links are in the description box. But thus far, my favorite video is on the satellites, because you guys already know I'm always talking about those helium balloons and stuff. But he's got a song on the satellites, and it's pretty comical. But he's got a lot of music because he's touching it. He's basically attacking all the sacred cows of the collective, and he's doing it in a very artistic, ingenious way. So I really don't have any announcements. We have over 2,800 people in Archaix Underground. Things are going great. We have a lineup of amazing guests. Big John has really been putting it together, and this is just another one. So let's go ahead and have Alex come on stage, introduce himself and what he does.
What's up, Jason? How's it going, people? Everyone in the chat, thanks for having me on. It would be nice to sort of let your audience know what I'm about, why I do what I do, and the impact that it's had on people. In some cases, quite profound. I have a very different opinion of music than what I had 10 years ago as a musician. It's quite interesting to go down those rabbit holes when it comes to music conspiracy and the social engineering that goes on. And I'm trying to basically do a different version of that, the polar opposite of that, and make music in the right frequency, with the right intent, with the right lyrics, that can inform and teach and get people critically thinking, and I've seen some incredible results by doing it that way. If only the entire industry had my mindset, we'd be looking at a different landscape, I think, musically.
Was that the Rockefellers who changed the hertz?
Yeah, well, it was definitely Rockefeller funded, back in the 30s, I think I think they had a few attempts at it to change the frequency, the keynote standard from 432 to 440. I think they had a few attempts at it. I think they were successful in America in the late 30s, and then they started introducing it into Europe, allegedly with the help of Goebbels, Hitler's right-hand man in Europe in sort of the mid-50s. I think he was introducing or gifting all of the schools with these tuning forks to 440, and this is now the tuning standard, and this is what we're going with. So yeah, it was absolutely Rockefeller funded.
Wow, it's crazy. It boggles the mind just how much the effort that's gone in the last 150 years to rewrite our histories, change our music, to basically subvert the arts and sciences, give us a totally falsified version of not only of history but of reality itself. I mean, they've completely got the collective believing we live in a type of universe that we do not even live in.
Well, not only that. I mean, look at what's happening with the music industry now. Now we've got AI generated music. There's even AI generated bands that are getting more monthly followers than I could ever hope for. So we're now living in an artificial world, musically speaking. So everything you're listening to, on Spotify, and it's going to get to the point where we're going to have an AI generated chart. And it's just going to be this soulless music that people, I mean, AI is getting pretty good at replicating soul. Even you can hear some AI is actually quite impressive. It scares the shit out of me. But it's going to be this thing that just removes the creative arts. It's absolutely, when people ask me for my opinions on AI, I only have one word, which is demonic. And that's how I see it. It's removing the creativity. No longer do you need an artist to paint you an album cover. You can just put a few prompts into a website and get it instantly for free, and it could be almost better than any artist could do. And the same applies with music. So I'm going to be out of a job pretty soon by the looks of things.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think you're gonna be out of a job. I mean, there are people who do value the creativity.
I think it's going to push people that way. I think there's going to be a general want and need for actual real music. It's going to split. It's going to split. You know, all the young people now are going to be forced to listen to this AI music, and they won't even be able to tell the difference. But they will be the old school people that that understand that real music, but with real intention, with real musicianship, is going to be a want and a need that people are going to start gravitating to. So I see it splitting into. We're at the point now where it's splitting into two roads, and there will be the people that will love the AI stuff and just run with it. But of course, there'll be a want and a need for real musicians, a real musicianship and real talent and real intent in the right frequency. And I'm starting to see that. I just hope more people, realize that and come on board with me, because that's what I'm trying to do.
Man, I get it. I feel your pain because I have a lot more history with AI trespassing on creativity and basically intellectual property than you may imagine.
Well, I mean, if you look at what AI is doing, and I think there are some lawsuits against Suno. Suno seems to be the most, the big, the devil's apprentice at this point. That's just plagiarizing all of the music because it understands the way it's able to create music is by literally scanning and spidering and indexing all the music that's currently out there.
Right.
So
right. No human can do that. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So basically, I think there are going to be the lawsuits that say that Suno is plagiarizing, and they are absolutely. So how that goes, I don't know. But knowing this world, it will just probably be allowed to continue, and people like me, authentic musicians, will be pushed to a little corner of the internet where you really have to know your stuff to find what I do.
Yeah, I agree. Well, it's before it ever started with music, it was already happening in the literary world. The first appearances of AI and infringing upon intellectual property, which really discouraged me. It's why I haven't published any more books on Amazon. I'm done. I'm done with Amazon. I published through Booktree in San Diego, but it's because all these kids they come out of college being tech wizards, and they have no other skills, and college isn't preparing kids anymore for a future that that you can build anything on. So they do the next best thing. They steal hundreds of, they Google what's most popular in the field. Then they harvest it, run it through AI filters. The AI rewrites hundreds and even thousands of books, and it does this in 10 seconds. And then they turn around and put their name on other people's research, but they don't have a research bibliography. It's easy to spot them because they're writing about very complex topics, but they have no research bibliography, and they're only 22 years old. So it's really easy to spot all this theft.
All right. So now everyone's an author, everyone's a singer, everyone's a musician, everyone's a songwriter. When actually they're not. They're really, it's just a few text prompts into write me a book about this, write me a book about that, and give it some basic guidelines. And then before you know it, you're an author. And I get sick and tired of people saying, I just made an album. I wrote this. No, you didn't. I did a thing. I see that a lot. I did a thing. You just made an album. You think you did a thing. No, you didn't. Yeah. Doing a thing is spending a lifetime learning, chords, chord structure, musicianship, all of that sort of thing. And that's doing a thing, making an album. But putting a few text prompts into an AI engine and making an album in 5 minutes is not doing a thing, is it? It's like everything now is automated. It's frightening.
You can't do it in front of a crowd. You didn't do it. Know what I mean? If you can't do it in public in front of a crowd, you didn't do it.
Absolutely. But we see that with the music industry now. I mean, they've been miming and playing to backing tracks and this overproduced music. It's not what, the biggest artists in the world are miming. They're being even Ozzy Osbourne. And I know some people get pissed off when I start slating Ozzy Osbourne because there's so many, grassroots fans out there. But his last gig that he did before he died, and maybe a month later, it was put out there as live, right? And he's wheeled out and sings his thing live but it's not. But actually, it went out live 2 hours later, and in those 2 hours, they had chance to more produce it and auto-tune his vocal. So when it went out live, it was actually auto-tuned. The people in the auditorium or in the arena were subject to the actual authentic vocal, which is probably a bit shaky given his age and everything else he's been through. But they actually auto-tuned it before it went out live on television. So there's all this stuff, all this artificial stuff has been around for a lot longer than people realize.
Yeah, I agree. Jasmine in a comment just said something that reflects a belief that I shared I believe 3 or 4 months ago, I was talking to my community that I kind of suspect that in the music industry, some of those amazing songs that came out in the 70s and 80s were early AI. And that AI has been around a lot longer than
Yeah.
we've been told, and that this is like a really good kept military secret that they've been having AI, and that computers have been around a lot longer than just vacuum
I
tubes.
mean, look at the explosion of AI. You can't tell me that's organic. The fact that we this has come along in leaps and bounds just in the last year. I don't see that as an organic, evolution. It's just it has to have been around a lot longer.
Yeah, there's no doubt. There are too many things that humans have an inability to do without a lot of time. Like you said earlier, indexing takes a lot of time. And I spent thousands and thousands of hours going through old books, putting together data sets. So it's very easy for me to spot when somebody's stealing my material and using AI, because they have the same material for which no one else has been able to bring to the table, and yet you have no bibliography. So I can see that the literary world was the first. This is when they started really honing AI this is when they started doing it. But there's no difference in the literary world and music. It's still data. So they can do the same thing. They can harvest 1,000 books. They can harvest 1,000 songs, run those 1,000 songs through filters, and like you said, index them to the things that are the most popular at the time, or index them toward a certain demographic that they want to really resonate with.
Yeah. So this we're now talking about AI social engineering. Now that's a frightening concept.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Where
are we? I mean, where are we when we, I never expected to be talking about artificial intelligence, let alone, actually swaying now as some kind of simulation. I never thought I would say those words. But when you start to zoom out and you look at all the information and you look at all the data sets and all the bullet points, you're like, has to be. This is not, there's nothing new under the sun. I hate using that phrase, but it seems to be that this is another run at this, It's frightening for someone like me who's creative, and to see that going down the toilet as it seems to be. I just only hope that people rebel against this and we start seeing a split off movement, and people needing and wanting real music. I hope that's where
I can definitely see a movement to where, like, if you were to go on tour and have 4 or 5 other real musicians with you guys, people out of just great respect, and people who want to hear real music and knowing everything else is AI, they're going to attend.
And it's funny. It's funny you say that, because I recently had a gathering at my house in Spain. I live in a villa here, and to my patrons, I invited them all to like just come hang out and have a party and have a drink and a gathering, if you like. Now, my point, I always get invited to places all over the world to perform, and I always say no because I have some visa issues. And my standpoint was like, you know what, I can reach more people from behind my computer screen. If I was to spend a week making a music video, I could reach thousands, tens of thousands, 50,000, 100,000 if it's a good song. What's the point in doing these conferences? Because I can reach more people. That was my mindset. But I recently had a gathering at my house about a couple of weeks ago, and I saw the connection between me actually playing in front of people and the connections that were made and the love that was in the room at that point. It was just amazing. Those connections are so important. So shout out to Dave Manel who made me do that. And so, but I've definitely seen the importance of these live gigs rather than hiding behind a computer screen and speaking through, speaking my truth digitally. I think there's something that absolutely there's going to be a want and a need for, real human interaction, real music. And we're hoping to scale that up next year to do a bigger gathering, 150, because there was about 70 people at my place. Maybe next year, 150, 200, if we could start, the importance in community and real connection, I've really learned over the last couple of weeks.
Absolutely. I'm a believer. I'm one of the few YouTubers that does meetups. I'll do meetups, and sometimes it's 70 people. Well, I don't think I've ever had only the local Houston ones have been that low, but 150, 200 people. I've had over 300 at Fort Worth.
So important. So important, particularly with what we're dealing with in the digital world and that. So yeah, those human connections are vital now, even to the point where I'm thinking of selling my house and, trying to get something a little bit bigger that can cater for these kind of events, because I saw the electricity in that room. I saw, all the connections being made. and it was very profound for me, very profound. So I might be going a slightly different direction in my life going forward. No more, just making music in my studio. I'll still continue to do that, but I definitely want to be in the space where I'm actually being around people and hugging them and looking them in the eye.
Right. Listen, movement promotes opportunity. When you're in stasis, like behind a computer screen all the time, you may reach a lot more people, but it doesn't have that same essence. It doesn't have the same power as being out in the community. Just doing one meetup afforded me so many connections. Now, there were so many times when you go out in public and there are people who are offering you all kinds of opportunities. And because of my lifestyle, because of who I was with at the time, because of my team or goals, I basically tell everybody, no, thank you very much. But if I was a free spirit and I just got in a van and I started doing meetups all over the nation, there would be no end to the potential that directions.
Very powerful stuff. That very powerful stuff. I've just learned that. So, yeah, let's do more of that. Let's do more gatherings, more. I mean, I've been to a few conferences, and it's almost like the speakers or the presentations, they get in the way. Most of the fun at these events are had in the bar or in the car park.
Yeah.
So I thought, let's create an event where we don't have I was going to do presentations and that, but it's almost like they do get in the way. So let's just have a gathering of like-minded people. And it was probably the best weekend of my life. I have to be very careful about what I say because I also got married here. I can't compare the two events. My wife will go crazy. But it was just absolutely electric, and it's really lit a fire under my eyes. Like, dang, we got to have more human connection here, particularly in a world where it's getting so digital.
Right. It's funny you should say this. Totally unanticipated. Didn't know we were going to even talk about this, but I had already told my team, Cheryl and Big John already know that we're about to do a Houston meetup. We're going to schedule it for February. And we normally do one-day events, but this is a big building. It's a big room, big parking lot. It's a good area. So I had told them we're going to do something different. We're going to do a Houston meetup for 2 days, on a Friday, on a Saturday. And on Friday, we're just going to open up that whole, it's a big room, and we're just going to hang out all day long. And people will be flying in. You can bring whatever you want. There's no itinerary. This is just a bunch of errands coming together. We're just all going to hang out. And then that night, we have the room for 9 hours. And then we're going to go to a restaurant, and then we'll all meet back in the morning. And then on the next day, we'll do some scheduled events on that Saturday. And then we'll go out again. So we're gonna have a pretty big thing going on. It's the first time we've done it this way.
Yeah, no, that's great. Remove the presentations. There are conferences for that if you want to have the presentation.
I can do presentations on YouTube. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. This is not about presentations, not about informing people. It's about a gathering. It's about getting people together.
It's so crazy we're talking about this because my team and I just said this, that we're going to change how we do meetups. So crazy.
Yeah. It's so important. This was a different way of trying to work it, and just everybody had. It was just like. It was the most amazing time. So I've now got the bug and I want to scale up, and I see the importance of it now. So watch this space, man. Watch this space. Things are going to get pretty real. That's what we need. Real. We need more realness. We need more human interaction. We need less AI. We need less digital. We need less, of all of that, and real human connection. So I look forward to what's going to come next year. But we're still looking at events for next year. We have to scale it up slowly. We can't learn to run before we can walk. It was the first little event we did, and so we've now got the bug. So I think we're talking the same language, man, for sure.
Yeah, there's also, you're in the UK.
Well, I was originally from the UK, but I moved to Spain about 10 years ago, and I love Spain. There's a certain level of tyranny here. Of course, you can't escape it, but I would rather deal with the tyranny with a suntan, and cheap sangria and all of that kind of stuff.
Are you in any contact with Stellium 7?
Well, he lives 5 minutes from me. Yeah.
Well, I'll be damned. Yeah, he was just on my channel. I know.
I thought you knew that.
No, I didn't know that at all.
Oh my God, me and Stellium go back at least 10, 12 years, something like that. I met him. I first came to Spain and I had a chiropractic adjustment with him. Actually, my wife had an adjustment with him. She said, "Oh, he's very good. You should go." So I went and saw him,
That's right. He's a chiropractor. That's right.
Yeah, he's a chiropractor. Yeah, so that's how we met, and we started talking. Then all of a sudden, we realized we're on the same page with so much stuff. And I introduced him to the, the cosmological deceptions that are out there. And he's like, "No way, no way, no way." And we just bonded over the last 10 years. So we're pretty close. And I know, he lives literally 5 minutes from me.
Small world, man. It's such a
it is, isn't it? Isn't it? Yeah.
Wow, that's so crazy. Stellium 7. I knew he was in Spain. There was somebody else I knew that was in that part of the world too, Portugal, but I can't remember. I've lost touch with her.
Yeah, there's not many of us. There's not many of us. It's hard. I mean, but I've been here 10 years, and I've got now probably 10 people that I know that are my brothers and sisters when it comes to being awake and aware and critical thinkers and that. And I know I've got some brothers and sisters, my Alicante brothers and sisters, I call them, and it's growing. This event that we had at my place a couple of weeks ago, we've made more connections. So I can only see, because I have some issues traveling. I have some visa issues, as I alluded to earlier. So I'm like, and I get invited to places all over the world, and I have to decline. So I thought, well, why not bring these people to me? And we live right on the coast, so it's such a beautiful area. And they always like, holy shit, this is Spain. I thought Spain was like Benidorm with like the football hooligans and all of that. But it's not that at all. It's such a gorgeous landscape. And when I first came here, I was like, dang, this is incredible. Why aren't we living here? The landscape incredible, the weather incredible, the cost of living incredible. So why wouldn't you have an event here?
Yeah. I don't know, man. I couldn't live in Spain because I never get anything done. I'm naturally
they are lazy. They are lazy.
No, I'm naturally inquisitive, and I'm going to get a shovel and a pick, and I'm going to go out to all the archaeological sites. I'm going to dig.
Oh, you'd love it here. That shit's all over the place.
I know. Spain has a very rich history. There were all kinds of mariner civilizations that were using the coast of Spain for whatever over a 4,000 year period of time. There's at least 20 different cultures that have all lived there, and I would never not find something. I know where to look.
Well, Mike is just picking away at that. We live in this area with this huge mountain that looks like an elephant, and you obviously had that discussion. Yes. And never did he actually think that it might actually be some kind of Titanic, elephant, mammoth, or whatever. And he started looking at it with different eyes. Certainly when I introduced alternative cosmology, he started to see the world with different eyes. And now he's absolutely blown my mind. He's absolutely blown my paradigm. My landscape now looks very, very different to me now. I see things on a bigger scale, and he's proved that to me. So we've blown each other's minds, Mike and I, over the last 10 years. It's a great relationship.
Yeah, he's good. He's a good guy. I was kind of a critic the first time he was on my channel because we were talking about the sizes of these creatures. But since then, I have done so much vapor canopy research, and I realized that the history of our world has had different atmospheres, and those different atmospheres did promote different sizes for creatures. So it's not outside the realm of possibility that we are super infinitely tiny compared to original epics.
So that's an oxygen thing, would you say?
It is an oxygen and air pressure.
Right.
Yeah. Air pressure has a lot to do with it.
It's not outside the realms of possibility. The further you go back, the more oxygen, the bigger the things. It's not hard to wrap your mind around that, is it? The bigger things were. I mean, we're not talking about titanic beings, but obviously trees freaking miles high. That's how I envisage it.
Right. I mean, if everybody's a giant, then there would be no giants. There's nothing to compare it to. The only reason we consider them titans and giants is because today we're so tiny, we're so small.
But we're finding evidence of it, right? We're finding evidence of it all around.
Yeah, we're finding evidence that everything was huge back then.
Yeah. And Mike definitely opened my eyes to that. Like, never for once did I consider that I might be living on a freaking Titanic elephant. Like, it's just like when you see it with different eyes, it's like then you see the whole landscape.
Well, when's that song? When's the song coming out with the Titanic elephant?
Oh God, you know how many people contact me like, please make a song about this. Please make a song about. It's like I'm the jukebox for the truther community, but I am one man, unfortunately.
Oh man, you know what?
I wish I had a cloning machine.
To give my community an idea of what we're talking about, I'm going straight to your channel right now. We're gonna share this. We're gonna share this. Hold on. Let me pull it up first before I share my screen.
I mean, there's quite an eclectic mix. I've pretty much covered many genres. That's the the joy I have of not being signed to a label. I can do reggae, I can do rock, I can do whatever I feel like doing. So
yeah. Well, I'm not gonna play this one because of the title. I can't even believe you got away with saying this on YouTube. You know what I'm talking? Space. I can't say it on YouTube.
Space is fake.
No,
you can say that, bro. You can say it.
It's not. It's space. It's space, and then the CUN word.
Oh, that one. Oh no, don't play that for God's sake. Don't play that one. No. Don't play that. I think that's that's going to piss a lot of people off because you know, unfortunately, I am working class. I do smoke, I do drink, and I do say swear words. Unfortunately, and people in the truth community are kind of shocked about that. But you know, when you come up with something funny when you're having a drink with some friends and you say that word, and we all fall about laughing. Right. You know, a song comes out of that, and that was that song you're talking about. But I don't think it might be a good choice to play right now.
Well, this morning I listened to the satellite one, and yesterday I listened. You had I'm looking for the one on 5G towers.
Oh, it's called "No Amount of Evidence Will Ever Convince an Idiot."
That's it right there. Okay, I found it. Yeah. Oh yeah. We got to do this one. Yeah, we gotta do this.
Literally, I put every beat of the song. It's like another bit of evidence, like another web page is just like showing the sheer amount of evidence that will never convince an idiot.
Oh, you know what? I don't know how it's going to translate on my audio, man. I don't know if my audio is going to pick this up, but we're going to give it a go.
We'll try.
Y'all tell me in the comment section if y'all can hear this okay. We're going to give it a go. Let me go ahead and share my screen. Because this isn't a video I'm sharing. I'm actually sharing my screen. So the audio is a little bit different, a different type of challenge. So I am going to, I got a huge screen. I don't know how much you guys can see of it. But I'm going to go ahead and make this video as big as possible. Do I need to make it bigger? That's as big as it's gonna get here.
Yeah, that'll do. That'll do.
Yeah, let me know how this audio is. You ready?
Yeah. We don't hear it. We don't hear it. Everyone's saying in the chat, no sound. Yeah, Jason, you got no audio, Mo?
Yeah, that's just not. It's not without sharing a screen for a video is not the same as sharing the video straight up off your laptop.
Yeah, can you try share with audio? I think that might be an option.
Let's see. Damn, that's such a good song too. All right, you say share with audio.
Try that.
All right, so I'm gonna have to remove. I guess I'm gonna have to remove it and start over. Hold on. All right, so I got share screen.
Might be an OBS setting. I'm not sure.
Well, I have a really sophisticated microphone. It's very expensive. Somebody turned me on to it, and it has noise canceling. And if your mouth isn't really close to the microphone, it doesn't pick up anything.
Okay, we can skip that. That's a shame, but we could skip that. But people can go to.
I don't see. Oh, hold on. Share. Hold on. Some screens let you share audio. Look for the share audio feature in the checkbox in the next window. Follow these steps. Let me see this real quick. I might be able to share. Oh, you're gonna send me to a. Yeah, that's not. Yeah, it sent me to a website.
Ah, never mind. It wasn't meant to be.
Yeah, I can't. If it's not on the laptop, I can't share it. I can't. Not with this microphone. That's terrible. Yeah, but you guys can go to his channel and check it out. It's
Yeah,
some
there's plenty
awesome
there.
stuff.
If you type the 3 words into YouTube: conspiracy, music, guru. If you can remember those 3 words, then you'll find my channel. There's 2 channels. One's just music only, and there's one that has more subscribers. Go to that channel. It has lots of videos and lots of very visual, entertaining, comedic stuff that can invoke a little critical thought. I like to think.
Yeah, it's good stuff. It's good music. There's comic overlay, but in the background, you're showing the receipts. You're showing
Yeah.
what you're talking about. It's good stuff. I like it. And you do populate in the YouTube search bar. You don't have to put conspiracy music guru, the whole thing. Once you put conspiracy and like MUS, you pop up.
Oh, that's interesting, because my website has been very demoted in the algorithms. I think my YouTube channel has been also. I mean, I can just tell by looking at the analytics, but certainly from the revenue, as I alluded to before, I'm making $100 a month from my YouTube channel. There's something incredibly fishy about that. So I'm not only being demoted from a viewpoint, I'm being demoted from a monetization point as well. So it's tough out there when you're putting these ideas out there and showing visually, and particularly using comedy as well, and using satire, and these are the kind of things that really resonate with people. These are the kinds of videos that you can share with your family and friends, like a 5-minute truth bomb. Not many people want to listen to 2 hours of a talking head, but if you've got a 5-minute music video which is entertaining and comedic, and it's also filled with so many lyrical truths that will get the average person scratching their head, then all of a sudden that becomes very powerful. And I think they realize that, and the algorithms are definitely against me. That's for sure.
Man, it is good stuff. You ought to check out our Archaix Underground. We got 2,800 people in there, and this is what they do. They share things from their communities. They share. This is the value of YouTube. YouTube, you know what? It's just a gate. You use YouTube to get high quality people somewhere else. And there's a lot of people that use their YouTube channels just to funnel them into Patreon. Or send them to their BitChute channels. And YouTube created that situation.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, I was putting my stuff out on YouTube for free for 8 years, 9 years, something like that, and my music is still available for free on YouTube. It's also available on Spotify and Apple Music and SoundCloud, all for free. I released a range of children's books. They're also for free on my website. And I just kept on, like, this stuff must be free. But then there comes a point when you actually get exhausted, and you're like, well, I have to put some of this stuff behind a paywall. I hate being that guy, but if I'm to spend my life doing this, I have bills as well. So, I'm using YouTube as a funnel to get people to over here Telegram, or over here Patreon, where it's less censored and people can get the real juicy stuff. But unfortunately, they have to part with $3 a month.
Yeah. Listen, I'm all for it. $3, $4, $5 a month. That's
nothing. It's
nothing, man. I see a lot of paywalls from these guys that I told you that are harvesting other people's material. They're not original researchers. They're just using AI to steal everybody's stuff and then protect themselves from copyright infringement by having AI rewrite it and then turn around, put their own names on it. Man, this is so popular on Twitter right now. There are whole Twitter channels with hundreds of thousands of followers, and they're posting daily, but they're posting everybody else's stuff. No bibliography whatsoever.
No, that sucks. That
information without doing original research. So I feel your pain, man. But you know what? These guys I've been investigating, they're funneling their communities into paywalls, man, for like $20 a month, $25 a month. So you can see everything they do is theft, everything they do is graft, everything they do is unoriginal, and it's all just to make a buck. They don't really have any genuine interest in the community at all.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Totally get it.
Yeah, no, it was a really tough decision to funnel people into a place where I can only do my music if it's supported, and I can only have these gatherings if they are supported. It's really tough to go into that realm, but it's a necessary realm that you have to navigate and say, look, okay, I can't continue doing what I'm doing unless I can't have the gathering I just had 2 weeks ago at my place. I put on all the booze, all the food, and there was a buffet of weed there as well. I put it all on for free, and I came out of that, slightly less financially speaking, but the importance of those events and the importance of what I'm doing cannot be understated. It has to be supported. Otherwise, how can I continue doing what I'm doing unless it's supported?
Yeah, I get it. I feel that there's a lot more networking, a lot more networking on the horizon for a bunch of us. I'm trying to do it with Archaix Underground. I'm succeeding with it actually. And there's here in the United States, there's something called Music and Sky that Alphabetic and Mike and Barry do.
Yeah, great guys.
Yeah, if you could ever get to the States, man, I know they would have you at a Music.
Yeah, I've been invited. I've been invited to Music and Sky and Confluence and and conferences all over the world. But with my visa issues currently, it's a little bit difficult. That's a whole nother story. I'd love to be able to attend these events, but unfortunately, there are you have to show the papers, right?
Yeah. So there's always alternatives.
There's solutions for sure.
I know that in the realm of human creativity, AI is bad, but AI is going to be bad mainly for the collective. But for individuals of genius who are just led by spirit, and there's always going to be a way. And if you can't leave Spain, I'm pretty sure that you could create a venue that would attract a lot of attention to get a lot of people to come to Spain.
Yeah. That's what we're looking at currently, for sure.
Yeah,
with the event that we had, the small event that we had at my place, we realized there was a massive need for it and a want for that human connection. So we're now looking at, scaling up slowly but surely. And, maybe my future is going to be being more involved in event organizing. And I kind of like that because I don't think I can be a musician anymore. I mean, there'll be a want and a need for that, but in a live setting, in a private setting. And I think that's what we're going to try and manifest for next year, maybe 150 or 200 people. We're looking at events currently.
Listen, it's a game changer. I'm speaking. It really is. I'm speaking from experience on the meetups. Listen, we charge $138 for a ticket, and
that's a good price. That's I've been looking at all of the costings involved in holding a big meetup, and what can we provide for a specific ticket price, and what's the right amount to charge for a ticket, and how can we organize this whole thing, because there's a lot involved in all of that, right. Providing food and accommodation and all that. So it's a huge thing for me to jump into, but I like the idea of being organizing these kinds of events where real people get to spend time with real people and look them in the eyes and hug them and that kind of stuff. So that's going to be very interesting going forward. It's going to drag me out of my comfort zone, out of the studio. But I'm all prepared for it. I'm very inspired, that's for sure. But just by seeing that,
it's called my brother. It's called breaking pattern, and that's where the magic in life happens. When you've been on a certain trajectory for a long period of time, and you just suddenly break pattern, that's when all kinds of golden opportunities from places you would have never thought just suddenly get dropped in your lap.
The connections that have been made over the last couple of weeks have been insane. So I'm a convert for sure. Yeah, you don't have to sell it to me. I'm absolutely like, now let's have real people in real places, and offer that real live music. And so why not bring them? If I can't, as you say, if I can't leave Spain, then bring them here.
Yeah, you sell tickets for like 3 months in advance, 4 months in advance. You have your capital. Once you see that money in the account, you have your ticket money capital. That for those who prepaid, it's always more than enough to pay for your venue, to pay for your food, pay for whatever you need to pay for, and then you have even more income coming from those who pay at the door.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's something I'm going to have to navigate, and it's a whole new world for me. So I'm learning all about it, and I'm having discussions with Dave Mantle, who was at my event, and who actually, it was his idea to have this event. So I'm in discussions at the moment. We're looking for new events and that, but yeah, I'm totally a convert. I want to do more of this stuff. I want to offer live music, like live conscious music in the right frequency. And I do believe that was a contributing factor in the last little gathering that I had, the right intent, the right music in the right frequency with the right lyrical content and just the right people. It's just that is gold, absolute gold.
Yeah, it is. Hell yeah, it is. I'm all for it. You know what? I might even get out of my comfort zone and just go ahead and get my visa. I qualify for visa now. I'm an ex-con, but I got all my rights back a long time ago. I've been out of prison 9 years. So hell, as a matter of fact, isn't this ironic? I just got my jury summons. I just got my jury summons. Yeah.
Wow.
I've already got my voting rights back. The only right, I got my jury summons here, and I still got to wait. I still got to wait another year before I get my firearms.
Yeah, I mean, repeat after me. I am free. If you can't go past fictional lines, then there's something very, very wrong in the world, isn't there?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. See, I got to go. There, I'm never going to do it. This is the first time. This ain't the first time it happened. It happened last year too. When I have a jury summons, I just walk in there and they kind of interview you, the prosecutors and all that. I'm going to tell them the same thing. I said, listen. I was 17 years old. I took a victim to the police department. I signed a deal with the state. The deal took that 90 days boot camp from me and ended up sending me to prison. So I was so mad, I ended up staying 26 years in prison. And I'm going to tell you now, if you put me on this jury, I'm going to find a reason to see this guy as innocent. I really don't give a damn what he did. But as much prison time as I was made to do, I'm pretty sure he can borrow some of that. So they just escort me out the building. They don't even want me there.
Yeah, that's deep, man. How long did you end up doing, man? That was
well. I mean, I was supposed to. The day I went to court, I was going to sign for 90 days boot camp. But this is what the prosecutor and the PSI investigator did. But I couldn't control national events because my judge just let a cop killer go. And the Houston Police Department, Houston Sheriff's Department, Texas Rangers, everybody was in the courtroom, mad as hell at my judge. They were showing support for him being too lenient and soft on crime because he let a cop killer go, and the dude got out and kidnapped a sheriff's deputy in the parking lot and sexually abused her after he had already killed a cop. So my judge, Norman Lanford, was removed from the bench, but not before he sent about 60 or 70 of us. He just totally took our PSI agreements off the table and just sent us all to prison, trying to be tough on crime, trying to make up for the big F up he just did, but it didn't. Houston wasn't trying to hear it. They got rid of him, but not before he destroyed a lot of people's lives. But anyway, long story short, he gave me basically a sentence that required me to do 7 years. So instead of 90 days boot camp, I go to prison thinking I'm about to do 7 years, and then Bush becomes the governor of Texas. And to make a long story short, Bush created a new law basically doing away with parole because he just built 61 to 63 new prisons, and he had to keep them full. So by the time I got my 7th year done, I was called into the parole office and told about the new legislation and that I still had to do 7 more years. What do you think at 24 years old I did when they told me that the 7 years I just did didn't count?
I don't know, erupt.
Yeah, I went off. I became the very monster they pretended I was. So in prison,
Right.
I started doing things my way, and nobody could tell me anything. I got violent in prison. I used weapons. People used weapons on me. I didn't care no more. I didn't work for manufacturing and logistics anymore. And that's when I started really, in my 7th year, is when I really started just doing some deep research, just trying to get my mind off of the world. And I just said, okay, well, this is my life. This is my life now. That's what I'm doing. And you know what? I have to say that the public has received that benefit. Even though I spent many dark years in prison putting all my research together, look what it's built. I've only been on YouTube 5 years.
So how are you in your, I mean, is there a place of readjusting? Is that what you're alluding to there, like readjusting to that, to just this whole new paradigm? And
well, I'm 52 years old. I was released from prison in 2016. I've been out for 9 years. My first 2 years, I went into oil and gas. I was working in the pipe yards. I was doing everything all the teenage and 20-year-old guys were doing, but I was in my 40s, and I worked my way up in both oil and gas facilities. But that wasn't my life. That's those working 712s. I'm not. You make a lot of money, but you don't get to do anything. There's no life. So I quit that, and I had a motorcycle accident, and then I started a YouTube channel. 5.5 years ago, I started a YouTube channel. I've just been slowly releasing YouTube videos, but I had a job the whole first 3 years of my YouTube channel. I was laying flagstone. I was building people koi ponds made of flagstone patios, back verandas, flagstone decks, and I used to show videos of my work on YouTube and show, hey, this is what I do during the day, but at nighttime I come home and I do a little 30-minute, 20-minute little YouTube video on some of the research I did in prison. And this is what got me popular. After 3.5 years, I just started exploding.
Well, I love it, man. You're not doing something too dissimilar to what I'm doing. I mean, I'm finding these things and I have to express myself. And the only way I can do it is to pick up a guitar and write a song. Right.
Music. You do know that writing a song still qualifies you as being a writer, right?
Well, yeah, I guess. I mean, I'm just expressing myself and I'm using music as a medium. Yeah. You know, we all express ourselves in different ways, don't we?
Absolutely. You're a writer and a musician. That's more than me.
Well, I mean, it's had. I mean, I see the power in it. I see, you know, that it can have a real profound effect on people if it's done right with the right intent in the right frequency. You know, at the end of the day, I'm just expressing myself, and I say, you know, often that I don't need a therapist. I need a microphone and a guitar. I don't need to, you know, sit down and talk to someone. I just, like, if I'm frustrated, then I'll make a rock album. Particularly during COVID, when all that nonsense was happening, I was so frustrated at the sheer compliance of people, particularly in Spain. Very compliant, but very, very compliant people. Wow. And I just saw this happening around me, and it spurred me to make an album about, you know, and I was, you know, shouting into a microphone, talking about Big Pharma and new television, watching news believers, and I told you so. I told you about that. I was very, very angry, and I was able to channel that into a musical, into an album. And, you know, when I'm feeling more, you know, at peace in the world, then I'll make something a little bit more peaceful. My stuff is so varied. It's literally a channel for what's on my mind.
Yeah, man. I get it. I get it. I see, you know, you coming on my show like this, you know, I believe in the butterfly effect. And there's already people in my chat asking for your email. So just having this exposure and people going to your channel, I'm telling you, you've already put it into the field, man, what you want to do. So
yeah, for sure.
I'm telling you, you're probably going to start something. You might, who knows, 5 years from now, the entire truther community might wait every year. Some weirdo in Spain, man, does this festival.
well, I hope so. I think we'd lit the fire. I think we started a precedent. I think after what we did the last couple of weeks, you know, we've definitely shown a need and a want for this, for real music, for real musicians, you know, speaking truth in the right frequency. I definitely think there's a market for it. I hate to talk in business terms like that. There's a market for it, but, you know, I think, you know, that's the only way that we can really sustain this movement is if we are to talk about numbers and start, you know, but this stuff needs to be supported. And as soon as you start saying, well, the tickets are $100, then people lose their freaking minds. They start going, oh, well, you're obviously in it for the money. No, it's not about the money. It's not about them. You have no idea how many thousands of dollars I've just spent getting a gathering together. People don't realize that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's insane when you start talking actual, you know, banknotes. People lose their mind. Like, oh, okay, well, like, conspiracy music guru's obviously compromised. He's doing it for the money. No, I'm not. I'm doing it for the community.
You know what? I don't even listen to them anymore. I'm not going to deal with that negativity and that toxicity.
Right on.
Listen, the people that ordinarily complain when what you charge is so minimum, those people have never provided value for anything in their life.
Absolutely.
Those people are going to complain about anything. So I just ignore them. You know what I mean?
No, you're absolutely right. There's always going to be one or two or three or a group of people that, you know, think that, because the thing at my house was just a very casual thing. It was, you know, invite only, Patreons mostly. And there were still people that turned up and expected a buffet or a free meal. They turned up like they were visiting a hotel and expected to be like, you know, waited on hand and foot. And I was like, well, I was told that it would be a sit-down meal. You know, where's the waiter? And I'm like, no, bro, what the?
Yeah.
So there is an element of that you have to deal with, but you know, it's a new world for me.
Yeah, Alex, you're more patient than I am, because listen, when I feel somebody's being disingenuous, if somebody is trolling,
there was some disrespect there.
If that situation would have happened to me, I'm telling you, man, people have.
If you're going to do events, you have to be very patient, because there are always going to be people like that turn up and expect to be, weighted on hand and foot, like, they want a foot massage and shit like that.
As soon as they would have said something like that to me, I'd have told them straight up, it's $50. It's $50.
Yeah.
So right here, it's $50 a plate.
So it's going to be difficult. It'll be a very new space for me, but I relish the challenge. I think it's great getting people together. Yes, you are always going to have your token prick at the wedding. You can't get around it. So you're always going to have the one or two people that misbehave and they get excited and they start getting a little demanding and stuff like that. Right. But so that's just what you generally have to deal with if you're going to be an event organizer. But I'm definitely all about bringing real people together with real music, real intent, and that could be a very beautiful thing. Maybe I might be doing less online and more in real life, which I think is great.
Well, you could actually get your start, Alex, finding like-minded musicians. You should know some other musicians that have some type of struggling channels or whatever, and you could probably draw in pretty. I would promote it, but you would like first do an online concert. Like they just recently did one. Like Rise Above just recently did one with Ali was there. She's in the chat right now. Martin Leakey was there. The Unfuckers were there, at least some of them. But in the UK, they kind of did an online thing and they sold tickets and it was very successful. So, I mean, yours would be very different. It's not a bunch of truthers talking about different stuff. It's musicians. So, something like that could be done. And
for sure, we're looking at all the different variables, and we're going to try and bring it together. How much we scale up next year, I don't know, but. Real music. I think there's going to be a real need for real people amongst real people with real music, and that's a space I never thought I'd end up in. But because I was always very comfortable behind my screen or in front of a green screen, and just writing a storyboard for a music video and reaching thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, maybe sometimes millions. But that's all great, but. I've recently had a taste for, real human interaction. And I think I'm going to go down that road because I like it. I like real people.
Yeah, absolutely. You made a friend here with Janine Louise. She wants to collaborate with the 432 Hertz writer musicians.
Yeah, that's essential in my mind. The 432 thing is a big thing. And a lot of people can't get their head around it, but I think there's there's so much we can have that conversation with, the solfeggio stuff that I've done and infusing solfeggio healing frequencies into albums and then just sitting back and watching what happens. It's a scientific experiment, Yeah,
I don't know much about it. It's not my forte of research, but I can imagine that the difference in frequency must be important because we see the effect in cymatics.
Exactly that.
With my body being like 70-something% pure liquid, then frequency matters.
Right. So in a nutshell, right there, when you start looking into the conspiratorial side of it, of the change of the frequency, and you start seeing, Rockefeller footprints all over it. Now, I don't know about you, but when I hear the name Rockefeller, I don't really think of rainbows and unicorns.
Nope.
You start to see the conspiracy behind it. So I think there's absolutely.
You see the pictures of that guy when he was in his late 80s, 90s. How old?
Reptile.
Yeah, man. It's like, what the hell?
Yeah.
How are you still alive? Yeah. Your skin is skin on bone.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. Everything's poison, isn't it? I mean, the air's poisoned. The information is poisoned. The food is poisoned. Why would they not attack the one thing that we actually absolutely find joy in, which is the music? So they've absolutely attacked that. And when you start looking at, everything that came out of the Laurel Canyon, and Dave McGowan, I think his name's Dave, wrote a book on, the whole social engineering aspect of music that came out of Laurel Canyon in the 60s. You start to see music, and you've had Mark Devlin on, right? Did you have him on recently?
No, we had to reschedule to the 20th, but he's coming on the 20th.
He'll tell you. I'm the conspiracy music guru. To me, he's the music conspiracy guru. He can absolutely just rip that to shreds. I'm a big fan of Mark. Big fan. So I don't have any more music heroes anymore. I don't look up to any musicians. I mean, obviously, I'm influenced by some of them, and my playing, is influenced by certain players, but I try not to listen to any of that mainstream music anymore.
Oh,
In fact, I'm at the point now where I get into the car. I get into the car and I turn off the radio. I don't want to hear that shit anymore. He's ruined music for me, essentially, but in a good way. It's pushed me down a path that I didn't know I existed musically. So yeah, he's ruined mainstream music for me, and rightly so, really, because when you see it for what it is, it's quite horrendous, really. The agendas that are being pushed in the mainstream music sphere.
Oh, it's terrible. I mean, yeah, the CIA absolutely created the whole hip hop industry.
Right.
Funded those guys. Get them all out there, and within 3 or 4 years, almost the entire low-income black community had emulated them. And the next thing you know, they got the highest homicides, highest drug overdoses.
There it is.
They filled the prisons of America, and most of the black community don't even know. Guys, you are attacked. You guys aren't.
They have absolutely no concept that the music is
totally
that kind of behavior. There's a business relationship between the music industry and the prison system. Once people realize that the lyrical content, talking about gang culture and hoes and drugs and all of that, so that's what keeps the prison systems full. If people could just
criminal justice system is big money in all counties, because local taxes can't pay for everything that's going on in a county. So officers write the tickets. Officers prosecute the law. Prosecutors prosecute the citizens. Citizens have to pay local attorneys. Sometimes they don't have the money for local attorneys, and they get sent in. They're another cog on the wheel now, and they get to send in. But what do they all have? They've got factories. What do they do in the factories? They work the prisoners. What do the factories do? They produce material to be sold by the counties and by the states. It is big business, man.
Absolutely. I'm glad you see that. Yeah. Most people don't see that. They don't zoom out enough to see that there's such a manipulation and social engineering and cultural programming with the music industry. But absolutely, it's going on. And
I'm going to simplify it even more, Alex. I'm going to simplify it even more. It's literally this simple. Because of social pressure, slavery was outlawed in the United States. So our controllers basically figured a way how to continue slavery. We'll call them free citizens, but at the same time, we'll create so many laws that no matter what they do, they can be prosecuted. Yeah. So, and once they get prosecuted, if you're a prisoner, you're a slave. There's no difference. It's a misnomer.
Where are we, bro? Where are we?
Yep, I get it.
It's fascinating. It's fascinating, and all of this sort of stuff is food for thought, and all of this stuff is great fodder for new songs. When you zoom out and you see the world for what it is, and you see that kind of control. I mean, it just inspires me in a way to write more music to wake people up to these concepts. But it's a long road.
I'll give you some food for thought. I'll pay you really good if you'll just do me an Archaix intro and give me that copyright for that music, so I don't get in trouble using it.
You got it. We'll talk.
I'll do an intro, make it silly, make it informative. I can even send you Archaix images if you want. You can do clips of me talking or whatever, but it's you singing, and I'll pay you really good, man. And every once in a while, when I'm doing a comedy video or something like that, I'll throw that intro on.
Well, just let me know what you want. Just give me an exact outline of what you need, and I can do that for sure, bro.
Yeah, that would be fun. That would definitely be fun.
Yeah, man. I've done so many intros. I mean, for different audiences, of course. There are some people that approach me from the health perspective. We would like a nice intro for our health conversation, and obviously that has to be a little lighter and more mellow.
Alex, it's the one thing, man, I try to avoid on my channel. I got so many good doctors and so many good holistic healers and nurse practitioners, people who want to come on the channel and all that. But damn, it's the one thing YouTube will get you for.
Oh, for sure. Man. I mean, the amount of times I've spoken about COVID and had the medical misinformation tag on all of those videos. I mean, I sang about this. I've had songs removed from Spotify and YouTube and iTunes for merely suggesting that might have been not quite what you were told, but calling it a hoax, these kinds of things. So,
hey, you know what? Everything's about timing. I openly talk about COVID. I openly talk about the vax. I talk about all our governments, or every government and every government employee, all to a certain level. they're all sold out. They've you know what? It's all about timing. It's you can talk about things on YouTube after ex post facto, once some time has passed about things.
Right? Yeah, they seem to be loosening up a little bit, don't they? I'm finding less and less videos being flagged for medical misinformation these days. So it's almost
they can't because it's already been officially declared that Fauci lied. It's already been,
exactly right.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, the damage is done, isn't it? So it's just a cleanup operation now. So it's almost like, the operation is done and dusted. We can all talk about it, and it could be in the mainstream news, and we can talk about this till the cows come home, and we can all wave the flag like, I told you so, I told you so. But at the end of the day, damage is done.
Yeah, not only is the damage done, the way YouTube looks at it is you don't have a right to speak about like the vaccine injury and autism and all that. You don't have a right to speak about that until it has been officially declared.
Isn't that sad?
So
yeah,
that's what it is. Sucks, but that's what it is.
It is what it is.
I can't believe this is. Hey, we can talk about anything you want to, but I cannot believe how much information we just packed into 1 hour. It was most of my videos. We go an hour and a half, 2 hours. So you're more than welcome to continue or whatever you want to do, man.
Well, it's your show. I mean, just guide me to where you want to go, man. I'm happy to go wherever you want.
Okay, look, you listen. No one knows better than you. Provide us a list. You got a song about 5G radiation towers that's hilarious. You got another song about satellites that's funny. So what topics have you covered that people can go to your channel and actually see? If they're interested in a certain topic, you've turned it into humor, good music, but your videos do have the right information showing that these are psyops.
Well, I think so. I mean, it's only the information that I've looked at. It's my journey, and I express it musically and visually. I've got a green screen behind me that I pull down, and I act the fool. And I think delivering this stuff comedically is a nicer way for the medicine to go down. Actually, I think people can resonate with comedy and humor. It's a very, very, very powerful medium. So when I started looking into conspiracies in general, I think 2012, I started looking into the alternative narrative of what we were told about 9/11. And I started looking at the world very differently. When I got to 2016, the whole cosmological deceptions hit me. We can say the words flat earth, maybe, if you want, but I quickly came to the conclusion that what we are being told about where we live was this incredible lie. And it moved me so much, and it created this massive creative burst in me where I could no longer hold it in. And I was clinging to the ball for 6 months. I thought, there's no way they could lie about that. There's no way I've been deceived. Of course not. Of course, I'm way too smart for that.
Yeah.
And then I tried to find evidence of curvature and couldn't. So that moved me so much. It created this massive creative burst in me. And I wrote a whole album about NASA and the deceptions. And I hid behind a character at that point. I was doing this very kind of Texas kind of accent. Now I put a cowboy hat on, I put the shades on, and I became this guy, which became the Flat Earth Man. And I was so uncomfortable with actually presenting this information as me, Alex Michael, that I had to hide behind this character and just put on a funny voice. And it worked. And I put the first song out there, and people were like, this is great. Comedy's, let's do another song. So I did another song, then another. And before I knew it, I had a whole album just basically bashing NASA and the information that they put out, the ISS, the moon landing, the satellite hoax, and the harnesses. And basically the whole album was just like, NASA, you're full of shit. I mean, it was just like, and it resonated with a lot of people, and it's so much so that I now have a range of children's books about that subject. So it was really good to put, truth into humor and present it like that, and it really, really worked. I need to do more of that. But as I say, like, my journey has been, quite an emotional roller coaster. And when I get angry, a rock album comes out, or if I'm feeling chilled, maybe a reggae album will come out. It kind of depends on what I'm looking into. And it's just been a journey of my truth, taking the bullet points of what I've learned and putting them into an album. It's a fascinating way to live your life, really. Just like, oh my God, I've learned this thing about, I don't know, this thing. Name your thing. Name your ology, right? Biology, geology, virology, like cosmology. Name your deception. And I go, right, well, there's clearly some deceptions there. How about writing a song and putting this and visually explaining this comedically so this travels? And I've been doing that for the last 8 years, and it's been really effective.
Well, you're gonna have to show some of those children's books. Where are they at?
On Amazon, unfortunately, yeah, Amazon.com. If you type in Flat Earth Man books, you will find my music videos in print format. Something that's a lost art. Yeah.
Wow. No, that's pretty interesting there.
Yeah, they don't sell. I mean, it's not like there's not like a need for this information currently.
Well, you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised. Things do sell. People just have to know that they're there. So
yeah, that's the problem. I mean, I'm dealing with a huge amount of censorship, obviously, with the channel and just my website being demoted and all that. It's very hard to get this information.
I've got a high octane community, man. A lot of people are interested in children's books, especially those with truth. So when we're done with this, I'm going to need you to send me an email with the links to all that, because I'm going to put that in Archaix Underground, and you're going to get some orders. There's going to be people ordering.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you. I do appreciate that.
I promise you, there's going to be people wanting to see those children's flat Earth books and stuff.
Cheers, man.
Those might be some really good sellers. You just don't know.
Yeah, I mean, they don't sell, like, it's not, I'm not making a huge amount, but the people that are the parents that have bought these books and they show them to their children, they're clearly engrossed or entertained, at least. I fundamentally believe that teaching should be done with humor. I absolutely believe that you have to have that comedic, satirical layer just to make the medicine go down a little easier. Because this is paradigm-shattering information that we're talking about here.
Yeah. So if you have a sense of humor, there is no way you will ever be able to navigate correctly. You're going to develop psychoses. You're all kind, because we live in a comedy. This is a shit show.
Totally.
Everything going on in reality is a total.
It literally is that
shit show. And if you can't laugh this, like I did that video, like what was it, the night before last, the Archaix News, Wacky News World Report. Listen, man, you have to laugh at this.
That's where I am. That's where I'm at the point of now where I can't change it. Well, maybe I can change it in my own little way musically and try and leave this apartment, in a better way than I found it. But the only way, my coping mechanism now is to laugh at this, and comedy really is, it's actually quite therapeutic for me in a way. So yeah, I'm very much at the same point where I see it as a kind of a joke, really, at this point.
Right. Listen, you have a lot of, there's a lot in Archaix that could inspire you for, especially my We Immortals playlist, for you to do music on. And it's been a long time that I've been teaching that intuition, empathy, and imagination are 3 spiritual qualities that separate us from everything else. And recently, because just doing deep dives on human nature and listening to my community, I had to add a 4th. Now it's imagination, intuition, empathy, and I had to add humor. Humor is entirely spiritual. It's the more we study humor and understand humor, it's like, wow, man, some people have 0 sense of humor, but those exact same people are like robots, NPCs. Those exact same people have no imagination. So I believe that humor is entirely spiritual. I believe that they're
trying to remove that, aren't they? They're trying to remove that. I mean, how long is it going to be before we have artificial intelligent comedians? We're going to have like literal AI comedy.
You know what? All they can do is rehash old jokes. Trying to invent new jokes is spiritual. Humor is going to be real hard. Humor is going to be real hard for because you have to understand, AI, with its stealing and rehashing everybody's stuff, it's literally reorganizing other souls' imaginative works. So the imagination was already input into the works that it's harvesting. But when it comes to generating humor, how's it going to do that? I mean, it's I don't know.
Artificially, obviously, it will do it
artificially, but I don't see people really resonating with it. It's just going to be rehashed.
Yeah, some will, unfortunately. Some will go, will fall for that, and they will fall for the artificial music and artificial comedy and artificial artwork. It's already happening around us. So,
well, they started with the literary stuff, then they went into the imagery, and then now music. So they're covering all the bases.
Oh, for sure,
all the bases.
Yeah, frightening, really. But
I still think I like to look at things inverse proportion. Let me explain. I hear your pain. I hear your arguments and I hear your pain. But as I'm listening to you, Alex, I'm also seeing, I said, damn, this man's really presenting to me the photo negative of a really positive situation. I'm hearing you and I hear the frustration, but I'm seeing something else. I'm seeing that humans, at least those who are awake, they're not dumb at all by any stretch of the imagination. So I'm seeing a whole something else develop here.
Yeah, there's a new audience for sure.
It's going to create more. Actually, as time progresses, every week that passes that AI subverts more and more of our reality, it means that people like you and I and Martin Leakey, Autodidactic, other content creators, Stellium 7, people that are providing original stuff in the field, not copyists, we are going to increase in value. And more and more people are going to be gravitating to us for that reason, because they've rejected this ultra reality that's being created by AI. So I don't kind of see it the way you do, Alex. I understand the frustration, but I kind of see that a door is opening here, and that we're at the very beginning of a whole new age where people like us are going to become high value, not ignored and forgotten.
Well, that's a lovely positive spin, and I you know, it makes me want to continue, because I think there's going to be a want and a need for this. So for sure, yeah. I just hope more people see it.
Yeah, that's all you got. All you need is a little exposure. I'm gonna give you that in Archaix Underground. I
appreciate it, man. I appreciate it.
I just need those links.
Yeah, you got it.
After the show, because that's where a lot of the magic happens, in the underground, because it's our little community away from all this madness.
We're going underground, bro.
Yeah, I'm going underground. Hell, the elite are, so we may.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, they're going underground. So, yeah, man, my dogs are acting up out here. Hey, man, it's been great, Alex. And if you got any final thoughts from our community, man, go ahead and share them. And I'm really wanting you guys to go, because I'm gonna start posting my favorite ones on Twitter and on Telegram. But you need to go check out his channel. He's got some awesome videos. They're great. They're not just learning tools, but I'm gonna have to warn you, there are one or two videos that are not kid friendly.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. That's a fair point. Yeah, I mean, most of my stuff is family friendly. The Flat Earth Man album, where I just basically took a stab at NASA for the entire album, that's very family friendly.
Right.
And but there are a few things where I got frustrated and swore a couple of times. I am human at the end of the day. I am working class bloke from Essex who drinks and smokes, and I swear and things. And I share my frustrations through music. As I said before, I don't need a therapist. I just need a microphone. And I put all sorts of things out there, be it reggae, be it rap, be it hip hop, be it folk or blues or country. I've pretty much done it all at this point. But it is my platform to communicate. I've done also 432 hertz stuff where I infuse solfeggio healing frequencies into music. It's like you're listening to Pink Floyd, but there's infused, solfeggio healing frequencies. I've done a lot of work with that. And so there's a myriad of things on my website that you can really get into. But don't expect just like one type of music. It's all over the place. It's so varied that it should be celebrated, really, that somebody could be that varied artistically, I think, because that's a very rare thing. Often you get artists that are specifically R&B, or they have to be a rock, or they have to be, but I'm doing all of the above, and I hope it continues. I think I found a purpose, and I think I found a new purpose in gatherings and getting real people together. So, it's all going to be one big culmination of gathering and music and consciousness and awareness. And it's quite a beautiful thing. And I don't know what I've started, but, long may it continue.
Yeah, man. Hell yeah. It's awesome. So you send me the email with your links, and whatever email, put the email that you want to be contacted by with, because there's a few people in the comments that want your email. And
yeah, great.
Oh, that's going to increase. This is early. I've never done a video at 10 a.m. in the morning. This has never happened. This is my very first video this early in the morning in Texas, 10 a.m. I normally go late afternoon or in the evenings. So
Well, I do appreciate you accommodating to my time zone, brother.
Oh, no. What I'm saying is all day long, this video is going to grow. There's going to be a lot of traction on this video throughout the day and tonight. So you're probably going to have a lot of people contacting you. So send me the email with all the links for the children's books and whatever contact email it is. And later on this evening, when I get back in, because I'm about to go run some errands, I'm going to send you an email with basically an outline of a good intro for my channel.
For sure, man. Let's hook up. Let's do that shit. Yeah, for sure, man. I look forward to it.
And you just send and when you're done with that, and I will break you off and I'll make it worth your time. I appreciate it.
You gotcha.
All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and exit out. Find me an outro if I can find one on this big old screen I got here. Yeah, this has been a total success. I cannot believe my very first time doing a podcast early in the morning and with this gigantic computer. This thing is huge. This thing is wide, man. It's 5 foot wide, the screen. But yeah, man, it's been awesome. I love you guys. This is Alex, Conspiracy Music Guru. Go check out his channel. The links are in the description box for all his stuff. And really unique guy. And we will be having you back, bro.
Cheers, brother.
All right, later.
Later.
Good guy. I'm impressed. That was I was really surprised, man. He lives 5 miles away from Stellium. Wow, so crazy. Small world. May have to get my visa and just get on a cruise ship and head over to Spain. Go check them out.